like Deadliest Catch and stuff like that. They're like,
They
you're
could
catching
put
crabs, bro.
they could put that shit on like a Xanax commercial.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be like,
Oh my god.
it has deadly side effects.
Yeah.
Bro, we live in this
Officially
bit.
official.
Okay. Yes, sir.
In here with Wildchild,
Wildchild.
Juan Alvarez.
What up, my dude?
What's up? What's
How are
up?
you, brother?
Good. How about y'all?
Doing good, bro.
Living the dream.
Yeah.
Somebody's.
Okay. That's the way to live.
Yeah.
Dude, so a lot of things have been popping off with you, bro. Another baby on the way.
Yes.
Congratulations on that.
Congrats, dude.
Thank you.
That's your first girl, right?
Yeah. I'm not.
dude. How you feel about that?
Yeah, dude, that's insane.
That's crazy,
I
dude.
mean, it's motivated me.
Yeah.
Like, it's motivated me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it just now like clicked. Like, probably like 2-3 weeks ago. Cause like, once she went to that last doctor's appointment, and it's like, oh yeah, I hit like the 3rd trimester or something like that, and she's like, oh yeah, there's only like 2 months left. I'm like, damn, the time's
shit.
like,
Dude, that's like you're like that's only like a
It's like
training
the
camp.
countdown is
Yeah.
on, bro.
You're like a training camp and she's here.
yeah. That's
insane.
how I look at it. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
So I mean, it's made me realize like I had obviously I have my baby boy, and how I look at it is, I want to be like the father that I didn't have, but I also want to be like the best dad. Like, I want him to actually be able to say like, my dad's the best. Like, look what he's able to accomplish. But like, so like basically I want him to follow not my exact footsteps, but like follow behind me. I want to lead by example when it comes to him. But with a girl, like, to me now it's like I have to do this. Like, I have to make sure I'm taking care of you. Like, I don't know. Like,
It's like
with
with
a
a
game,
yeah,
dude. It's a whole different ball game.
Yeah,
man.
it's like with a boy, you're like, look what hard work can do.
Yes.
I'm gonna try my hardest and it's gonna work. But with the girl, you're like, it has to work.
Yes.
There's absolutely no way it cannot.
Yeah.
So you like, it's a big step, bro.
I know, man.
I mean, this is my thoughts. Obviously, I don't know if anybody knows this. I don't have any kids, but
Wait, what?
in my thought process, if I had a girl, like, the protection would be different in my mind.
bro.
I feel like I'd be way more like of a helicopter parent, which is
Yeah.
like you're hovering around them,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
everything okay? Like, you good? But if it was a boy, I feel like I'd be like, he'll be okay.
Yeah.
He'll do his
Well,
own
yeah.
thing.
That's the
Yeah.
thing
And I'm
too.
here
Is
if he
since you
needs
already
me,
had
right?
you already have a baby boy, like, he's gonna be like, don't
Oh,
be
yeah.
talking to my sister, dog. Like,
Yeah.
he's gonna be tripped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's the way me and my
Protection.
brothers are against my little sister. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, who you talking to? Who's that guy?
Yeah.
Get him the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's like that.
And especially
you'll have
since
that.
you're a fighter, I see him in training all the time. I mean, I know
Oh,
he's
yeah.
little and he's in an adult class, so it's not like he's getting work, but he is seeing something that's mentally gonna go longer than like, oh, a jab.
Yeah.
He's like seeing like the fundamentals of like how to like prepare himself in life. Like, I put in the work. This is what
Yeah.
should happen. You know.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
It's
Like,
crazy, bro.
hey,
He's a little
again,
killer.
lead by example.
Little
Again,
killer.
lead by example.
How old is he?
He's 3 turning 4 in January. Actually, like, my girl's due date is the day after his birthday.
Oh, dope.
What?
How crazy would it be if it was the same day?
Bro.
I know. Look,
You're like low key.
I won't forget.
Yeah.
I won't forget.
You
like,
won't forget?
I
Very
won't
true.
forget. Like, I will always know they both, like, their birthdays the
Yeah.
same day.
And
so.
then those birthdays are gonna be like, well, Dad got me this. What'd Dad get you? So
Oh,
Yeesh.
damn.
you got a
So, see,
competition
I do
there.
gotta make sure
Yeah.
Or if it comes the day after, he's gonna be like, Dad got me this. Don't get, and then she gonna be like, Dad got me a car. So
Yeah.
he loved me more. So.
Ooh.
No, that's.
Ooh.
You say no, but that gonna
Yeah,
happen.
I
bro.
know. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like for my son, I want him to. I don't know. It's selfish in a way, because it's like I'm like, I'm gonna get you what you need,
Yeah.
but what you need at the time.
Yeah.
And like for like her at this point, it's like,
I'm gonna give her everything.
I'm gonna give her everything. But like, same thing goes with my boy, of
Yeah.
course. But like, I basically want him to work for it a little bit harder.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Because like, I feel like man's role is to be a man. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Be able to defend yourself, be able to protect yourself, things like that. And females, you know, they're advancing in life now, so they're in the same, like, they're almost just as equal now at this point. Well, I don't want to get too specific with this. You know, she turned into a man or whatever the case may be. But
Okay.
you know, again, man, with a girl it's different. Yeah. Like I don't want her to be like thinking like, oh yeah, he definitely was already loving her more than me and stuff like that. Because no, I'm gonna love them just as just as equal.
Each bond is unique.
Yeah.
And the love is unlimited.
Yeah. I feel like my girl's gonna be more of a daddy's girl. You get what I'm saying? Like I feel like she's gonna rely on me more than he is. I feel like because he is a boy, he's gonna push away from not being like the dad a little bit more, not relying on him more because he wants to be able to show me. Yeah. You know, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, Well, I think what you're doing now too is like a really good thing, like showing him like hard work pays off. You know what I'm saying? And like that'll carry on with him for his entire life. And it's like working towards those things. And for her, it's like, yeah, you want her to work towards things or whatever, but you want to be able to provide those things for her. You know what I'm saying? So like you're instilling those like hard work, like values like that in a boy really more than a girl because, you want your boy to be protective and like be able to provide for people. So it's like,
Dude, I foresee y'all being something like an AJ McKee and like Teofimo Lopez, how their son became better than they were at fighting. Like, you may be the next big thing here. He might be the next big thing on the planet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if your dad is like the next big thing, you're following up as he's learning. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine how good he's going to be? I mean, you see how young he is when he started.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not like he's in like training camp now. He's like 3-4 years old, but like, can you imagine when he's 20, just 16 years from now, the experience he's going to have? You're probably going to be either on the tail end of your career or retired by then and coaching or whatever your plan is, but he's going to have all that at the same time you're getting it. Yeah. And he's going to be grown into like a man's body, and it's like,
yeah, dude.
Bro.
No, those are things that, for sure I've already like dreamed of from the minute that you find out, well, when you join something or you're into something, you think about passing it on. Like that's just how it is. Like it's just a father thing. Like you feel like everything you learn, you have to pass on to your son, like knowledge wise, like what you like experience things and
character,
like things like that. So these, like me being a fighter, I've thought of, but I've also thought, I can't push it on him. I can't want him to like. I don't want him to think my dad wants me to be this, or my dad makes me do this, because I know that somewhere along the line he's gonna be like, no, I hate it because I pushed it so much on him. So no, I just at this point, man, if he wants to do it and he's watching or whatever and he does it, all right, I'm guessing he's enjoying it. But if he wants to go do something else, go do something else.
I can't remember what famous fighter said this, but they made a really good point. They're like, I don't care if he becomes a pro or whatever, but he's going to know it. He's going to be aware of how to defend himself. Yeah. Like whether he likes it or not. He's going to know like, yo,
what
some shit pops off. Yeah.
What he does with
this
is...
I'm not going to make it like this is your job. You're going to learn everything you need to learn. And then like when you can make your own decision, then you can like step away if you want to permanently. But you're going to be aware of how to protect yourself and your household.
And I think it's in a lot of athletics like that, you have a lot of those situations where their families are forcing them to do that, right? And then you look at those situations and ones that people made the decision themselves to do it, and you see the careers are, they might not be as illustrious, but I feel like they're more successful as a person, but also in athletics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, also the difference with fighting is like any time you're doing anything in life, a fight could happen. Yeah. It's not like you're in Walmart and all of a sudden a football's thrown at you and you catch it and you're like, damn, I didn't know we were playing a game right now.
Exactly.
It's like, at least with fighting, it's a fundamental art that
can be used at any time.
And it could be a necessity to survive in a situation. Like, nobody's going to be like just fucking pushing a cart down the aisle and then I need to hit this baseball when it's thrown at me.
Yeah.
It's like those are sports that could be fun to know, but it's like at least with MMA or like self-defense period, it's like beneficial to know in general.
100%.
Like it can help you out. It'd be cool to see like how your little girl grows up like doing it, like just knowing it. Like it'd be cool to watch.
Like I said, like all my me, I'm trying to leave a legacy.
Yeah.
Like that don't mean I'm out here trying to pop these kids. It's like
Yeah.
just to have a. I mean, if it happens, it happens. That's just how I look at it.
I mean,
but,
like, you know.
it
you know,
is what
but
it is.
I'm trying. My thing is, I wanna have a legacy. Like I do believe I'm gonna be the best. If I know God is blessing me, and which I'm following His footsteps, and I'm just doing what I can, and I know that there's no stopping me if I continue to push it as hard as I do. Yeah. So I know me making it, my name, where I'm from, like what I've been, like what I'm going to be able to accomplish with everything that I've been through. People are gonna be motivated by it. So I feel like my kids are gonna be following, thinking, like look who my dad is.
Yeah.
So I'm leaving a legacy behind my name, but I want them to understand that, hey, I want you guys to be even better than me.
Yeah.
So,
and it doesn't have to be in fighting.
Well,
it could be in anything.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's like a new age mindset. Like, you're not forcing them on anything. Like, I remember people growing up, like, you got to have 2 or 3 jobs. You need to be a doctor. You need to be this. You got to do that. It's like, nowadays, it's like, you're just going to push them to do whatever they do with heart or like with
resentment.
Yeah. No.
You're saying
No, to push them into something like whatever you do it like with hard work
I
and
got you, I got you.
yeah,
With
don't do it
everything.
half-assed.
Okay.
Like nothing good ever happened half-assed unless it was like, yeah, I don't know,
No,
nothing.
yeah, 100%. Well, and also too, like you're building a foundation for them. You know what I'm saying? Like doing the things you're doing now,
Whole
whether
ass.
you see it or not.
Do everything whole
ass. But like you're building a good ground for them to build off of. By like doing this stuff now, which you don't see right now, but at some point you're gonna be like, oh, that's why I did that. For them to have, this good thing to build off of. Which is awesome, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
stoked for you, bro.
We don't have children.
Yeah.
But how does that feel? Like, obviously you had a little boy and I saw like how you were around him and that was like such a like lion and cub situation, like when y'all would be around each other and training, it would be like such a cool thing to watch. But how does that feel, or how does that translate now that there's 2? Like I don't know how to describe what I'm saying, I guess. Like, obviously a boy is different, but it's like, yo, that's your first offspring, and it's like, wow, that's crazy. Does it feel like now you're building like a foundation, like a family, but like
An empire.
yeah,
I
I guess you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, like that's
like you're building more than just like that's that one person.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like now I gotta really be an example.
Whatever they decide to be, like I believe in genetics. I believe in and all that good stuff. Like,
oh, your kids are gonna be gorgeous.
so yeah.
I hate to break it to you.
Yeah,
You're gonna be if they're not
hate
good,
to
if
break
they're
it to
the
you.
dumbest kids on the planet,
Dude.
they're gonna be stupid
They're gonna-
pretty.
That's
So
I was
pretty.
just saying this yesterday. I
I
had
was
a baby
just
shower.
saying, my kids are dumb, but
Yeah, exactly. Like, they can be dumb, but like, cause how I look at it is like, damn, I wasn't the smartest, but shit, I was the hardest worker
He said,
around.
Look, check that
But
mirror
y'all
out, dog.
see
What's
me,
up?
though.
He said, you know what I look like, dog.
But I mean, I just feel like whatever they're gonna be doing something sports related, or well, I don't know if, there's ways to be actors and other things, but the hard work in us is like we have to be physical. Like I look at how I am, my brother.
it's like a way you express yourself a little bit.
Yeah, like I feel like it's and it's genes too. It's like it's a Cuban thing, I guess. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Your hard work comes out in the physical side. Of
In the
things.
physical side, like my hard work is shown through physicalness.
It was like everything I was born into like showed the same way, but like my family didn't have that like upbringing. They didn't do anything physical. I mean, my dad's dad went to war, but it wasn't like that's what he necessarily wanted to do. He was drafted, so that's what he had to do.
Yeah.
So he was in World War II. But like my dad, he went to school, but he didn't do any sports, but he was around like athletic people. Like he went to school with Emmett Smith.
Okay.
So he was around like people like that, and he was friends with the guy, but he never did any sports. He was more into like cars and getting drunk and shit. So like me, I came up and it was like NASCAR, football, skateboarding, like all athletic stuff, but I had no like example really basing that off of other than like Tony Hawk Pro Skater was popping, like the NASCAR game was popping, like NFL was popping, like the Dallas Cowboys were winning championships. It was like those were like the things that are wrestling.
Yeah.
You know?
Those are the examples.
Yeah, but you have like a direct like a part that you're playing in your children's lives that you're like, look, I am leading by example. I know we keep saying that, but it's like they're probably gonna be starting in sports.
Yeah, for sure.
Like based off of their.
It's like you were talking about too, like the whole genetics thing. It's like, you know, if that's something that's in you, showing hard work through physical things, that's going to be a part of them too. You know, and having you to look up to and be like, you know, like it's
going to translate into anything they do.
My kid's playing t-ball right now, so this is a prime example. He's playing t-ball, right? So or baseball at this point, but you know they're hitting it off the tee, so I guess t-ball. I'm a first generation, so all the sports that I was able to accomplish, be varsity, starting, whatever, were like things that I jumped into that year or the next year I was already in advancing. That's why I said genetics, because I was gifted in that aspect of athleticism. And then I see my son and I'm like, man, I didn't play sports until I got older. But I always think, people always like, man, I can always imagine how you would have been if you would have done this.
Yeah, if you would have found it sooner.
You know, so now I see my son and I see him playing t-ball, and like I see the other parents like, oh yeah, he's one of my favorites. Like, just he's genetics, man. Like he's just fast. He's just he's to the ball. He's not afraid. He's there. He's got it.
As soon as his like
for sure
cognitive like mechanics, he's seeing you do it. Like as old as he can remember, fucking his whole life, he's seeing you do athletics. So of course it's going to be like an inclination for him to do something. Yeah. Is the reason y'all got into t-ball because like baseball's so big in Cuba?
No, actually, because
that's like a
baby mama plays softball.
Thing. Okay,
she plays softball, and her mom also plays softball, and they're more of a baseball side, you know. And
you're like, baseball, cool. I guess.
You know what's crazy? The only sport that I wasn't good at was baseball.
Oh wow!
Like,
which is wild because you're good at hitting things with your hands.
But the bat,
so why wouldn't
like that?
You would think the power would be there.
Oh, bro,
you might not be good at baseball, but you could.
You get out on the golf course one day, dude. You'll fucking rip it. I swear. Seriously,
you might not be good at aim, but that ball going somewhere.
You ain't gonna be able to tell me where it's gonna go, but you could send it 300 yards. I
mean, I just never took it serious. I think because you know it's crazy because that's the only sport my dad did play. This is why I say like I try not to like push the things on my kids or anything like that, because it's crazy that I think while my dad played baseball, but that was the only thing I wasn't good at, and everything else I was able to pick up faster than baseball. And I think it's because baseball is a harder sport to.
Dude, baseball
it's weird. It's difficult. Like some sports are easy to get into and then harder to master, and other sports are harder to get into and easier to master. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I feel like baseball is one of those things that's harder to get into, but once you reach that level, you can get to the top level.
But I also feel like you got to have some sort of talent for it.
Well, 100%. Yeah. But I'm saying like anybody will go play football and can like, you know, catch a ball or stop somebody. You know what I'm saying? Relatively easier.
Yeah, football's probably the easiest sport as far as like everybody trying it out at least once.
Yeah, everybody's going to do it one time. Yeah. But not everybody's going to do baseball one time, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like
I never got into baseball, but football was like
it was like
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like why not do this?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we might just be American football is just, you know, one of the biggest things we see.
Yeah, it also might have been a time frame thing.
Yeah, like, I was gonna say I think our age group, I think we saw more like when the Giants were playing in the Super Bowl with Eli and things like that. Like, so I don't know. I feel like at our time frame,
it definitely had a bigger impact on us. For sure.
And I think ESPN might have been a little biased towards football a little bit.
Oh, for sure, dude.
I wake up, the first thing I'm playing is ESPN because SportsCenter is on. I don't know, 24/7.
Yeah, do they ever?
So it's like I would get ready in the morning watching highlights, and I'd be like, dude, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, You're like, they're games that like you didn't even know were going. It's like high school games or something.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, what? Yeah, they're covering everything.
Yeah, that was such a big culture thing. Like at least when I was growing up. You said you're a first generation, so that means like you were born here and your parents were born in Cuba, or wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Are you bilingual then?
Yep.
That's crazy to me. He's semi-bilingual. He's like Spanish and American, I guess.
Spanish and American. He's Spanish and American.
Yeah, no, I
can
have that side too.
Yeah,
I'm
I
mixed
like.
with that too.
I can speak and
So
conversate.
I'm gonna
and
say something
understand,
really
you know?
dumb.
Huh.
Cuban, is that Spanish as well, or is that a different dialect?
It's like a different dialect, from what I understand. Correct.
I mean, that's like saying American.
Yeah,
That's like saying American. American is American, but the
you got, like,
difference is,
country.
you know,
Yeah.
there's country and there's
it's like
ghetto and
Yeah.
Mexico and Spain use different dialects, right? They
Yeah.
use different conjugations and stuff like
slangs
that.
and-
Yeah, so they have different stuff that like I
y'all
wouldn't be
could
able to
talk.
understand. Nosotros podemos, pero no mucho gusto porque usted es muy pequeño en mi español. But I mean, like,
But I don't
we
know
can-
what that was.
yeah,
But I
we
did.
can
I
talk.
understood
Yeah, we
everything.
can talk a little
Yeah.
bit, but like, there's different stuff that they use that I didn't learn or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I was learning. Well, I guess I learned some Spain, stuff, but it's just different dialects and stuff that you would pick up on being there.
So like when you were born, you were literally growing up bilingual, or were you like primarily Spanish and then you were like, oh, I'm not so good at English and I'm learning English, or were you English and then learning Spanish?
See, I graduated older in class because I failed behind just because of this. Because this is why I would say it's kind of harder for people of first generations.
Yeah,
And
you
I
got to
think
do more than anyone else.
for sure.
Yeah.
So
Mentally.
I got held back 1 year. I think it was kindergarten or something pretty soon.
Yeah.
Because they were like, he's really far behind, and it was because I knew my ABCs in Spanish, not in English, and we live in America. You get what I'm saying? So everything for us is we're learning.
Dude, and it's confusing.
Well, and that's the thing
It's
too is the English language has so many freaking exceptions. Like there's like most other language. Well, French is very different. But like even like AF or all the random exceptions they have, other languages don't have that kind of stuff. Like English is the dumbest language to learn. That's why it's the hardest language to learn second. But like from the English language to most other languages, it's easier because there aren't as many exceptions and there's like much
as a matter of fact,
clarified rules to follow. You know what I'm saying? So like going from Spanish to English is one of the hardest things you can do. Or French to English, I think, is the other one.
So you were born in Miami?
Yep.
Damn,
Hialeah, Florida, Miami, same thing. But
so Miami's got to be the fucking hardest one because it's basically Spain.
Yeah, I mean,
so learning two languages.
A lot of people will be speaking Spanish now.
You know what I'm saying? So learning two languages, it's got to be hard because
everybody else
probably
around you,
more people know Spanish, or like are bilingual than are just English speaking people. That's got to be tough because they're like teaching you ABCs and you're like, yeah, but Freddie down the street, he don't say that shit to me. He says, whatever Spanish word.
But yeah, no, that's exactly. I mean, that's exactly why it was kind of harder. For my little brother, it was different because
what's the age difference between y'all?
A year and like a couple months.
Okay.
So,
so you're picking it up a little quicker.
Were your parents learning English kind of around the same time you were, or
no,
were you
because see, it's this is why it's harder for like first generation people in certain aspects, because my mom obviously coming here from Cuba at a time frame where the communism, which the world, it's coming back around again some way, somehow, with Fidel and Cuba and everything. There was a point in time back in her youth that something similar to what's happening was happening back then. And she took off over here on what we would call a banana boat.
Yeah.
And when you arrive here, you got to go through immigration process and et cetera. And everything my mom has now and where I'm at now in life is because of her, of course, or her sacrifice on coming here.
Yeah.
So that's another reason for me to push even harder, knowing these type of things. And
that also might be why you feel so different about your girls, because you respect your mom so much. So you're like,
that's very true.
My mom did that for me. I'm going to do triple what I can for my baby girl because like what my mom like you respect women in
there's
a different
good
way.
and there's bad because I saw my mom do so much that I don't have to see my woman do. Yeah. So my expectations sometimes be a little bit too high, and that's where sometimes I'm like, I need to calm down. Like everything is not like that. Like my mom was, oh, your woman cleans and cooks and this and that, but we live in a whole different generation now, and we're not in Cuba where that still might be a thing. Over here, it's like, man, we got dishwashers.
Things are changing. Yeah, things are changing. That was what 20 years ago or whatever. So things have changed a lot.
Yeah, everything is so old school still.
Yeah,
but nowadays here it's like everything's so open. Like
it's
people's roles in relationships.
Yeah,
I mean people's sexual orientations. There's like the roles in the workplace. Everything is like anybody can do it here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but in certain countries or certain locations, it's like old school. Man rules, women listen.
Yeah.
It's like it's definitely different like watching your mom to having a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, and then even being in a relationship with a girl. Like all three of those female interactions are going to be different.
Very true.
I can't even imagine like the juggle there. But each one should help you respect the other one in a different way.
That's where everything's balanced out. Like
at the end of the day,
yeah. Because I'm aware of the differences.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm able to like, okay, I can't expect her to be my mom.
Yeah.
Like I can't. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of daddy, not daddies, but mama's boys fall. Because I'm a mama's boy. Yeah. I had my mom around, so that was my best friend. That was everything to me.
How is y'all's relationship now?
Oh, perfect. It's good. Like that's.
She's tough. So you still have both parents?
No, I have my mom. Okay. I only have my mom now.
Correct.
Is your mom here? Or is she still down?
No, she's down in Miami.
Oh, you just went and visited her, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But awesome. I mean,
looked like you had a blast over there, dude.
Yeah. Well, I wish I had a blast, but it's at the end of the day, every single time, I'm just too committed to this sport.
Yeah,
now.
I saw you at MMA Masters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
how was that?
It's
different.
I don't want to say too much because I respect them and I'm appreciative of them allowing me to come, but my goals are to be that guy from here.
Yeah.
And I don't think if I need to one day explore and go out and do like how I just did going down there, yeah, I'll do it. But I feel like the coaching that I have here is what I need to get to the next level.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm different.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I can be that guy that was like he stayed behind and he accomplished what he needed to do from his hometown. So,
I wouldn't even say stay behind because it's like y'all have a perfect marriage. Like the minds that we have behind some of the trainers in the area. I mean, the coaches that you have in general, like Ben and Trey are really great coaches. People sleep on them for some reason. Like
when we had Trey on, that's what we were talking. We were like, dude, like we don't understand how those guys don't get the credit we think they deserve.
Trey spoke a good point. Is like it's because he's not trying to put his face all out there. Like he's not into like
him blowing up.
Yeah, he's into the sport or the community itself.
Exactly. The movement.
Getting big. And Ben is the same way. Ben is real quiet.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's why I have the role that I have. That nobody has assigned me that. Yeah. I've assigned it on myself. Yeah. And I've been like, I talked to Coach Ben yesterday. He's a father figure to me. He's my father. He's my family here.
Yeah.
So I told him, I was like, my goal one day is to be like, oh, he made it. He didn't stay behind, but he was in his hometown doing all his dreams, accomplishing it.
Yeah.
And he built from there.
Yeah.
And I know we live in a generation to where it's social media. No matter how you look at it, social media is what's gonna get you 100%. A lot more money. Yeah, and that's what we live around is money. So
also money will go a lot further here than in Los Angeles or something.
So how I look at it is, I want to be able to be like the Wildchild trains out of this gym, coached by the great Professor Ben Seeley and Trey Allador, and people are gonna be like, man, who are these? Who are these people? Where were they at? And I'm gonna be like, yo, I knew about them. That's why
100%.
So now I feel like I have people that contact me all the time about coming to train over here.
Yeah,
and
I was just about to say it's gonna attract better talent,
Better-
which will give you better
exactly.
looks, which will make you better.
Yeah, and you're also bringing people to this area. You know what I'm saying?
And we got one of the best beaches in the world, man. We're slow paced. Like this is perfect. Like I feel like there's other people with families that train that could bring their families over here, have a better living.
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
And it's slower.
Well, what's like what you were just talking about the money thing? Like I've spent some time in South Florida, like Tampa, St. Pete area, and the money, like to buy this house in that area would cost almost 2.5 times what I bought this house for.
Exactly.
Like to live down there is insane compared to here, and we still have a cool little downtown area. We've got the best beaches in the world. Like there's a lot of stuff going on here. I just don't think a lot of people see that side of it.
People sleep on a lot of the talent or a lot of the upside here.
Yeah. There's so much local stuff that goes on here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and it might be smaller stuff, but like, what's bad about that? What's bad about a small local scene?
Yeah, I think the older I get, the more I'm more into the idea of like, and we've had several people on that talk about this, where people aren't proud of where they're from because it's small or whatever, so they want to tie their name to like Atlanta or I'm from fucking Texas.
Yeah, the first opportunity they have, they want to go. Yeah. They want to be part of something else or somewhere else.
But they don't want to like plant roots like what you're trying to do and be like, yo, I'm proud to be from here. Mm-hmm. Like I don't even know why it matters. Because say you said you were from Wyoming, how would that change anything in your life? Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You're from where you're from. You're training where you're training. The only thing that's different is like the literal action. Mm-hmm. So like if you were actually training in Wyoming, that'd be much different than saying you're from Wyoming. But like people are just like, yo, fucking 3-6 Mafia's from Atlanta. I mean, they are, but
yeah.
I got to be from Atlanta because 3-6 Mafia was from Atlanta. No, you don't. Now you got other standards to like put yourself against, and it's not going to be fair to you.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't help that Roy is like one of the greatest fighters of all time, and he's from here, but he wasn't in MMA. So it's like you will be the Juan Alvarez of MMA from here.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I always say that. That's.
Is that like what you're looking for? You're like, dude, that's what I want to be. Is like
no, for sure. Like I said, I didn't get being first generation. You're always what you learn by somebody else, not through your parents, because they know their town, their city, their hometown. So they didn't everything American wise. Being first generation, you learn by another American, by someone else from here. So, MMA wasn't something my parents got brought up, football, none of these things. So when I jumped into this sport of MMA, I was like, okay, who the hell is Roy Jones? Man, you don't know who Roy Jones is? Everybody knows.
I mean, look at his shirt.
Represent.
He's rocking it right now.
So you get what I'm saying? So that's how I was, but that's why now it's like, oh, you see this fighter or you see this upcoming fighter, whatever. I'm like, man, I really don't watch too much of it, and I don't even follow fighters or UFC fighters and things like that because I'm not a fan. Like I got into this because I just found out I was good at it, not because of somebody else. I didn't grow up watching someone else.
So what got you to where you found out you were good at it? Like what I guess introduced you to it?
Was there like a switch?
Yeah, or was there somebody that was like, yo, that street fight was crazy?
Yeah.
I saw the footwork.
Hey, let me holler at you for a second.
Yeah.
Where I grew up how do I say this? There's a lot of gang activity. So when you're born in a certain place, like again with gang activity, sometimes there's no way out. And my way out was when my parents moved, like when my mom decided we were gonna move here. And I grew up fighting. We were the first Cubans in the block where everybody was blacks, Haitians, things like that. So, we're minority, and you can tell because I got good hair. So, the rest of the real black people, they got waves and things like that. So they can obviously tell that my mom spoke Spanish, and it was hard to have teachers to talk to them or whatever. Yeah. So there was always like kids that will bully and will make fun of us, and it's because we were poor. My mom had to work
just
a
trying
lot.
To make it
you know, I mean, we're trying to make it. So I wasn't the quiet one, but my brother was. So he'll take it. He'll be bullied more. Yeah. But me being the older one. Again, it's a defense mechanism. Yeah. I always protect it. So, how to say this? I guess it was like a gang thing. When you're born into it, and your brother's into it, your dad did it, your cousin does it. It's a family thing because there's no way out. That's how you protect each other, is by being in these gangs. They try to find their way. So, hey, whose family is that? Like how they got here, things like that. So, there will be times I'll get jumped. You know, they'll make fun of my shoes, but that's because older brothers or older cousins will be like, hey, go pick on, so and so, whatever. And that led into other things. And as I got older, I started going to the park, whatever, and gang affiliation is still there. So, I did nothing but fight every day, all day long. Like and my brother was more of a quiet guy. He was more video games. He wouldn't go out and stuff. Yeah. But when we went to the bus stop, people would pick on us. They'll mess with us. So it was either we were going to continue to let it happen, or I was going to fight and I was going to, join in that lifestyle, because that's how you protect the family. That's kind of like you got to take that role, or it's either you're going to continue to get bullied until a point of suicidal, or you're going to pick up a gun or a knife, or you're going to retaliate, you're going to try to defend yourself, and now you're in jail or in prison because of this, or you were in that activity, joining or whatever, and you're protected, but no longer things are happening to your family, or you're not poor anymore, you got shoes, and you're not getting bullied anymore. So I grew up.
Took that avenue because it was like
it was the protection for my family. I felt like, and that's where everything has switched. When I moved here, everything was slower. The only thing that was out at that point in time was Facebook. You get what I'm saying? It was Facebook. So, and Facebook can be deleted. So I deleted it. I moved here, man. I became a whole different person. Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely stuff that goes on here, but I'm sure, like what it was down south. You know what I'm saying?
So when you got here, were you like interested in doing sort of fighting
sports? So I was,
because you played football like a mug.
Yes. Yeah. So I played.
Y'all
football.
went to school together?
You went to Tate, right?
Yes.
I went to West Florida the same time.
Okay, so I was a popular kid.
You remember Eric Stark? His nickname was Craig. We went to West Florida together. But I think y'all went to middle school together, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, I knew a bunch of homies from Tate.
Okay. Some way, somehow, people were going to... Yeah. This is a small town, man. We're from Pensacola. Around our generation, West Florida and Tate were pretty close. So, no, man. I got here and I wanted to play sports. And, man, to be honest, being bullied so much, and every single time I try to play a sport, and I got bullied. I had to grow up different than people. Me being first generation, I didn't have cousins to look to help me if I'm getting like jumped or things like that. So I was, man, that's why I can sit here and be like, man, I could be a fighter. Like, this is one person I gotta worry about. Like, I grew up getting jumped all the time, like fighting all the time, whatever the case may be. And when it came to sports, PE, things like that, I was always the last one picked. Nobody wanted to pick me up. So-and-so had cousins. They pick each other up, best friends, things like that. So you get what I'm saying? So it was different for me. I wasn't able to. I wanted to play, but kids wouldn't pick me I was the last one picked, if anything. And the ball would never be thrown to me, things like that. So when I moved here, and I was a whole different person, and he's from Miami, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. And I decided I wanted to play football when I moved here. It was like, man, the ball, the tempo, the coaching, that everything is so much different than it is in Miami. So I was able to perform different.
Yeah, you were given the opportunity to show like
I was given that opportunity, so I was able to like, oh, you're gonna give me this opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go all out.
Yeah.
So that's where my leadership abilities started coming in the place.
Yeah.
I was like, I wasn't the leader before. I was always the last one picked. I was like, whatever. And I come here and they give me this opportunity. I'm gonna grasp it.
Take it and run with it.
I became a leader in everything I did. So,
yeah, dude, and you know that's the thing is I feel like people have those opportunities, but they don't take them. You know what I'm saying? Which is something that you did that not a lot of people will do. You know, which is a huge fucking deal, man. Because like, I mean, shit, you hear people talk about like, oh, I'm in this position because of this, or I'm in this because of this person or this. It's like, okay, I get it, but you also had plenty of opportunities to do something about it. So why didn't you? You know what I'm saying? So it's like you could have just decided to keep your dick in the dirt and not do anything about it, but you were like, you know what? I'm gonna take this shit and run with it.
Yeah,
which is fucking tight.
So from football, was there somebody in football that saw you that was like, man, you're athletic?
Yes. Okay, so Heath Herndon.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so he went to Tate. He was again. I never flunked or anything, but because I was so behind in school, my parents had to get me tutors or whatever.
Yeah.
And so went to school. I started school later than a lot of other kids. So his senior year was my sophomore year, but we're the same age because I'm always behind.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like all my friends were always like
A little bit.
seem older than me,
Yeah.
and everybody was like, man, he's just a sophomore or whatever. But that's because I was older.
Yeah.
So my sophomore year, I think I was like, there was me and another guy, the only sophomores that played varsity for Tate. So again, you know how it is. You always gotta get bullied. You gotta get bullied. The seniors gotta mess with the younger classmen and things like that. So, man, I used to get. He was a senior, so they used to they take me up one time to the especially him. He's a bully. He's a bad boy. You know what I'm saying? That's his nickname. You get what I'm saying? He was a dick in high school.
Yeah.
And I remember him and a couple other football players take me, and they left me taped. And so that already triggered me throughout the season, and made me not like Heath. Yeah. So then I was always when I was given the opportunities, I always showed out. So I was the hardest worker in football practice, everything. Oh, this is just football practice or whatever. So hey man, I'm hitting people as hard as I can, like things like that. So one day he just said something on the wrong day and
got you fired up.
Got me fired up. I said something to him. He said something back, and that turned into a football scuffle where it ain't no fight. You got helmets on, shoulder pads, but we got into it, and I remember people used to be like, "Oh, people didn't mess with him because he was an MMA fighter in high school." You know, you don't really see too many MMA fighters. So MMA, he wrestles at Tate and things like that, and we got into it. Being football players, you got that brotherhood always. So he was like, we forgave each other towards a while or something, and he was like, man, you should try out to wrestle. And I was like, no, I don't know about how I feel about wrestling, but I got into wrestling because of him. Mm-hmm. So he was my teammate that year, but there was another football player that was a senior, and that was his first year. So they got more in the team. They got more of a bond. They worked together, but I worked with my coach Reggie, mm-hmm. and this is why I say I feel like I'm blessed and I feel like I was meant to be this, because everything that happened is it's adding up. The Tate was gonna take the wrestling program away. My that year I came to Tate, and Coach Reggie ended up coming to Tate, and then
from Pace, right?
From Pace, and then he stayed behind. Like he stayed at that school, and my first year wrestling. So this is crazy. My first year wrestling, I wasn't set to go past districts, and I did an upset. I won the whole entire tournament. I won districts my first year wrestling, and that was one of the things that he was like. That was another reason why he influenced me more. I fast forward a little bit. So the guy came, Coach Reggie, and he stayed for the wrestling program. Started wrestling through Heath, got me into it, and again, that guy became the coach became my partner most of the time. Mm-hmm. So I'll go with him a lot more. We wasn't expected to win districts. That was the first year Tate wrestling program has won districts ever. Was that year. Oh, wow. And those points, some of those points were obviously from me winning districts. Yeah. We wasn't expected to win it. I wasn't expected to win it. So these are things that are motivating me more. I'm like, man, what if I didn't win?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? We wouldn't have been able to accomplish that. So I guess that gave another reason to keep the wrestling program. That's why he was pushing for us to win and things like that. Yeah, so I got into wrestling through Heath with that coach. And once Heath graduated, I had 2 more years to wrestle. I was always still fighting. Like I just had a lot of things going on very young, and I was easily triggered. Like everything I was always an angry kid.
Yeah.
And
what was the first moment like from wrestling that you got into like a gym? Like was it with Heath?
Heath
at Bad Company?
At Bad Company. Okay. Heath was like on the off season, he was like, man, why don't you try to why don't you come to practice with me and stuff like that? Come check it out. So I started going with him, and boom, I got into MMA through that. Yeah. So that was really like, I didn't take it serious. I didn't really like it much, but that's who got me into it.
Yeah.
That's where I was introduced to MMA. So
we're gonna have Heath on soon. He just, I guess, in November he's gonna be training somewhere else for a little bit, and then he'll be back. But we were gonna have him on pretty soon.
Yeah. Okay.
Dope.
Yeah, but
I mean,
he knows. He knows.
He's like a little local legend,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
He's got a name behind him too. Like,
he was old. Like, he was older than I was, and I knew who he was at my high school or back in middle school, whatever, whenever the hell it was. And I was going to like the smallest middle school possible, so it's like, yeah.
Yeah, man, you can definitely have a legacy around here. Like, your name can go far here, but it's like what you do after that to make it go far everywhere.
Yeah.
That's like the path you're on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'm trying to set myself apart from the stereotype that we have here. Because, man, there's people there's celebrities and things like that. There's people of higher standards, people that are seen in a different way.
Yeah.
That pass through here, and like we just don't look their ways either. Like we don't make it a big deal. We don't have like paparazzi and things like that out here. If you get what I'm saying. Yeah. So a lot of people do come here for like hideouts, and we Pensacola just really don't be knowing it sometimes.
Yeah.
And Pensacola is known. Pensacola is known. I promise you it is. But we're known as that hush city, laid back.
Yeah.
Nobody's
really doing much but just working and living their life. Retirement place.
Dude, a lot of things have happened here. Like, I mean, what is that serial killer got caught here? Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
We
had that one guy like 2-3 years ago. Remember that?
Oh yeah, he was like He was running from somewhere, right? And then ended up here.
Ended up in Pensacola.
Staying in like a motel here. Too. Yeah, I can't remember where he was.
You got that. You got Trent Richardson.
Wow.
You got Emmett Smith. You got Bubba Watson.
You got Roy.
I mean, boy. Big things. And then like you got people mentioning us in movies like George Clooney. Yeah. Like in The Perfect Storm, he's like, if I'm gonna retire, I'm gonna retire in Pensacola, Florida.
Well, you know that like there's I can't remember.
The world's best beach. Island, they say.
Something?
What?
Ono Island.
Ono Island has like
Justin Bieber's got a house there.
Margaritaville guy.
Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett's
got it. Like Tom Cruise had a house out there at one point. Like
a lot of people got
like them.
Jorge comes here.
My point exactly. This is just we don't have.
But that's the thing is like you're talking about.
I think
people don't really like. We're like, oh no, that's cool. This place is tight. Like you'll enjoy it. Like
like we just chill, bro. Like that's how I look at it. Like I'm a chill person.
Nobody got
people ask me. I'm like, bro, I'm just chill, bro. Like I like Pensacola, just chill. I came from Miami, so I was like. It was just so much, and our days were just like
it's constant.
Constant.
That might be why you have the pattern of like energy you do in like the training room. You just got like what seems like unlimited energy.
Yeah.
You know,
Bruh,
that might be because of when
that recently came. That recently came.
Yeah.
No, I'm lying. I've always been full of energy.
you're always energetic.
Yeah, I'm always energetic.
And I will say this, like watching your fights from like, I remember the first fight I saw live was you versus Mike Pelletier. Since then, watching your fights, like, you still have the energy, but your pacing is different because it seems like you're more mature in your fighting style. Like, you can definitely see your growth, like, per fight, which is insane because some people never break a mold. And I feel like a lot of that is locals or, like, amateur fighters never break to the next thing. Yeah, they're like,
they make it
oh,
to a
I'm really
point
good at
here.
this thing. I'm really good at a jab and then a single leg or something. Or I'm really good at, like, a Minari roll, or I'm really good at kicks. But they don't take the next step, and that's why
they hit
fizzle
the plateau.
out. Yeah, they'll like go real high.
It.
They'll get an amateur career, and they'll be like, "Yo, I was really good." And then it'll be like they do like a pro or two fight or something, and then they'll be.
And then that's it.
But it seems like the growth that you're having is like per fight. It seems like you're either working on something new, or you have built onto what you already worked on the previous fight. So it's not like you learned that and forgot about it, and then you're on to the next thing. It's like steps. You're like adding another level each time.
Yeah.
And that really showed in your last fight. Like the patience you had. That was like the big thing I saw in the very last fight. Was like, damn, he's not just trying to fucking murk this dude. He's like trying to pick him apart and like, hey, that was my round.
Shit. Yeah.
Next round, also going to be mine, but I'm just letting you know. That's what it felt like watching it. I was like, okay.
I'm going to let you know.
Yeah, there's another one. Gonna be mine too.
This next one mine.
Because I'm a first generation. I went through what I went through being in Miami. I lost my dad the first day I moved here to Pensacola. That was like one of the hardest things I went through. Months after that, my mom went through cancer. My mom had cancer every year I was in high school until a year after I graduated from high school was the last time she was ever clear.
Damn.
I saw my dad turn from what we would say a very strong guy to weaker than a 15, 14-year-old, my brother and me. You get what I'm saying? So I know what it is. I know what it's like to be weak. Yeah. I didn't go through it, but the visualization and the going through that moment, like, man, I wasn't going to school in 8th grade. I was getting suspended from school on purpose just so I can spend my days suspended at home with him. Yeah. Watching that, like, I've gone through so much, and I know what it is to actually be a man and to be weak. Like, to actually need from someone else, from your son. Yeah. So that's why I feel like I work so hard and I push it on my son, because I want him to be like, I want him to know what it is to be strong.
Yeah, and be able to take care of other people at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah. So, you know, that's why I said I saw my dad turn from what I would consider. I've never feared a man in my life. Yeah. And my dad never put his hands on me, but his voice alone, like, just like calmed me down. Yeah. And that's just because he was his energy.
It led by example.
And he led by example, so he never had to, like, you know. Again, I saw that happen. I saw my mom at times, she was breaking down crying, like, you know, it's very, very emotional times. Yeah. And I matured in the fact that I had to be like, I can't use that as an excuse. Yeah. So that's why the no excuses came through. Yeah. I had to realize I can't dictate, and I cannot stop what God already is doing. Yeah. So all I can do is push forward every day that I wake up to be even stronger, to be even more prepared. And once I realize, okay, if I'm going to be the hardest worker and MMA is my dream, well, then things have to happen. Like, and I said, work, I'm going to have to figure it out, but it has to go. I need to be fully honest. Like, I need to be diving my head straight into it. So there's moments, man, I wake up and I'm aching, but I know what I've been through, what I'm going through, what I have to accomplish, the end goal. So my motivation comes from all that at the end of the day. And even if it wasn't MMA and I decided I was going to be a power lifter, I feel like I will be one of the best power lifters in the world just because I can't set myself to be normal.
Anything but the best.
I want to be the best.
Honestly, like people think your like athletic skills are like top notch, which they are, but what you really have that you can polish and make better than anyone else is your mindset.
100%.
Like, your mind, because you have the body and like the youth and everything to back it, is your next level, is your it factor, is for you. That's what I think. Like I see some people that are like, they got the gifts, but they don't have the heart, or they don't know how to put it together, or they don't have the body or the youth or whatever, but they have the heart and they can take a war, but they just don't know how to put it all together because they found it too late or something. Seems like everything is in your favor. So it's like really on you. And I mean, it sounds like your mind, dude, is like polishing just like every fight. It's getting better. It's like, it seems like outside of fighting, your mind's getting better each
day.
Yeah. It's like,
man, I'm going to tell you this. Again, I think so much, man, sometimes I think I'm not even like from this planet or something, bro. Like, don't come and abduct me or nothing. Don't try to like, you know.
No.
But like, man, I sit down and I'm like, bro, do I think like other people? Do I do like what, like something inside of me makes me feel like I'm different than everyone else in the world.
Yeah.
And like, MMA is my dream, of course, and my life revolves around it at this point, of course.
Yeah.
But my personal life has become to where like my mindset towards not MMA things, like towards a car passing by me, he's blowing a horn at me, and I should be angry. I'm like, man, what the hell am I gonna be angry at? Like, oh, this dude's gonna pass the next light, and I ain't never again gonna see him.
yeah.
Like things like that. Like there's things that people get triggered by, and now it's like I found the peace in life that I needed.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it,
You're
man. I saw
understand-
war, and now I see peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
You know what it's like to
understanding-
have to go through war, so this isn't.
Yeah, you're understanding
Yeah.
the things that are important and that aren't important, and
Exactly.
what need to have time spent on, and what don't deserve time.
that
You know?
that right there is exactly how I look at it. That's why I'm like, my time and effort, my energy should just be wasted on MMA. Why am I gonna sit here and argue with this lady at the front desk?
Invested,
And, you know, I'm not gonna invest.
What's the
my
point
time
of
into this.
spending it on something that's never gonna pay back?
Exactly.
You know,
Dude, you
Like,
know what would be like, I don't know if you like, I guess you consider like Ben and Trey like mentors to you. You know who really would be like the best mentor for you? Do you know who Eric Thomas is? He's like a motivational speaker. They call him like ET.
Yeah.
Bro, that needs to be your fucking dad. He has a mindset that like, dude, it'll make me want to fucking tear down a building.
like,
Like,
you're like half asleep, and then you
I'll
watch
be
one
like,
of his videos.
man, I gotta fucking do this thing at work, but I'll listen to one of his things, and I'm like, dude, I could do that. I could take over the world. I could, you know, it's like just listening to some of, like, I used to like listen to like motivational speeches like before like tournaments or something, and it'll get you in a different mode. You know, it just gets you like, bro, they're not on my level, but you actually are on a different level. People are not on that level. And then if you also had like the Eric Thomas, like that's where I feel like your mind is going. You're eventually gonna be like the way he makes people feel. You already make people feel that way a little bit, but it's like he's the next level of the mindset that your mind is going towards.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Because listening to him, it makes you feel like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, that's how you make people feel like I'm not doing enough.
No, I mean, and man, that's why like
Or I'm speaking for myself. I
I can talk on and on and on and on. Just not be. It's not because I just like to talk or whatever, but because, man, I feel like I can motivate people.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes I look at people and I'm like, bro, you have no idea, like
you could-
what you can do. Like, do you really think it's hard? Because I've been through hard stuff. I've been poor. Like you, man. I've experienced so many things that I'm like, every single time something happened. Like me, when I started working at 16, I was like, man, I got money. I'm blessed. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for
I'm
sure.
blessed.
That first mall job,
$8?
that first mall
I'm
job,
good.
different,
Like you
bro.
get what I'm saying? So, and then something happens, and it's like it's time to grow up, time to get bills.
Yeah.
And then you're like, man, I need another job, make it 15, and then you get another job and do this, and then you get into fighting MMA. Like, damn, I get to stay in shape, have a different mindset, do something that not even 1% of the world gets to do, leave a legacy in something I'm good at,
And set up your family.
Yeah.
and be financially good.
Yeah.
Set my family up. Like, be that first generation guy.
Yeah. What more do you want?
What more?
Yeah.
What more can I?
Bro, not that I think this, but if MMA doesn't work out, like it doesn't become like you're the best in the world, bro, motivational speaking is right there.
Oh, dude,
You're gonna be-
You got your hand on it.
Eric's
for sure.
palms are getting sweaty right
Yeah,
now. He's
yeah.
like,
He's like,
holy
wait,
shit.
what?
Yeah, because you got the talent like he's got, but essentially to the world, you're nobody because nobody knows of you yet. But bro, I'm telling you, dude. even when you become the best in the world, dude, I think your retirement plan should be motivational speaking.
Well, my okay.
I mean that.
What's the closest thing to being a motivational speaker?
I don't know.
How do you motivate others?
Lead by
Doing it.
example.
Yeah.
Okay, and if I accomplish these things, I led by example, right?
Yep.
The closest thing to that is coaching. That is what coaching is.
Yeah,
Motivational speakers
Yeah.
are literally coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah, your coaches lead by example because they had to have gone through that sport
They
somewhere,
experienced
somehow,
it. Yeah.
the experience or whatever. But all a coach does is motivate you if you think about it.
Yeah.
What coach can sit there and play football with you? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Once you're in high school, all he can do is teach you how to flick the wrist.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? A little bit better than the last guy did. You get what I'm saying?
exactly.
So every coach that you get,
Yeah.
that's where I've been blessed, is that I've been given these coaches that has led by example.
Yeah.
Because if I would have had the wrong coach,
Oh yeah, for sure.
you get what I'm saying? Because that happens. You got wrong coaches out there that be like, man, I had it. I had that during football practice,
Yeah.
during football season.
Sometimes you don't even know you have it.
And some
Yeah,
You
you
think
think
they
they're
are
the-
gold.
you think
You're like,
they're
man,
it.
this dude is
Exactly.
the best.
Yeah.
So I looked at how many sports I've did, how many coaches I played track, football, weightlifting, wrestling. I had ROTC, so I saw like different
all different kinds of
different kind of
Yeah.
coaching, role models
yeah.
and stuff. And then I saw what good coaching was and what bad coaching was. Then I thought about what the coaching that I had in Miami. I saw what tough coaching was, what the tough love coaching is from Miami.
Yeah.
Because they get on you. They cuss you out.
Yeah.
They
Smack
grab
on the
you,
head a couple
smack you,
times.
throw you.
Yeah.
What you doing?
Dude, that's how football was for me.
Oh yeah, bro.
But
we were like 10 years old and
at
they were
Tate,
good.
it wasn't like that. At Tate, it wasn't like that.
yeah, high school is a little bit. They're a little more. They got to be a little bit more.
They were
cautious,
saying
for
stuff to
sure.
me like, get up, you. And I'm like, hey,
things,
man.
things like that. Things like that make things like that. That's why getting your kids involved in sports is a big thing too in life.
Teaches
Because
you discipline.
It teaches you that discipline.
bro.
It teaches.
Yeah.
100%.
So again, you got to find the right coach in the right sports, whatever. But each sport that I did, there was always a different coach in there that would care for me differently than the other one.
Yeah.
That I would grow a
made a
different type of
connection.
love for, a different type of connection.
Yeah.
And I had Coach Reggie through wrestling, who saved my life because through those times I was going through a lot. And then once wrestling's over, and he has to move on to the next kid because that's reality. That's his career.
That's his job. And
That's
you
his
move
job.
on, he stays.
Exactly. So he has to move on to his next set of kids in high school.
Yeah.
And then he has another kid that's probably going through similarities or something
Yeah.
compared to mine or a little bit different. He can think about, okay, well, when Juan was going through this,
Yeah, this is what helped.
this is what helped or whatever. Like, so you get what I'm saying? Like, coaches also learn through kids. And that's where my mindset is also different. That once I started teaching kids at Remedy and like coaching them, I saw the different personalities and the different characters and abilities in different kids and athleticism and the ones that are book smart but aren't too smart. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Common sense wise and things like that. So that's why very early in my career at 22, I'm like, man, I've experienced so much in life. I've gone through so much in life. I've matured fast in life. And then I'm coaching very young in my life around kids that has opened my mind up as well when it comes to genetics and abilities and talents and things like that.
Yeah.
Man, my mind is just like, I'm not the smartest when it comes to math and history and all that, but when it comes to like common sense, understanding life, I feel like I found that piece. Like I'm like, I'm good, bro.
Yeah.
So,
man, dude, you're setting an example for sure. So your next fight is November 5th.
yeah.
This comes out the day before.
Okay.
This will come out November 4th. So, is there anything you want to shout out before we get out of here? Like,
yes. I want to shout out to, of course, you guys.
Hey,
Thank you for
appreciate
having
you,
me.
bro.
AMF. That's man. All my sponsors. Thank you. They're family to me. I don't call my sponsors I don't call them sponsors. I call them family because honestly, it's hard to get some sponsors and the people that support you and who becomes and are giving you to support you. To me, it's family because you're
deal.
helping me accomplish what I needed to do.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So, thank you to my family members. There you go. AMF, Mako Tech, the Barn Fitness, Remedy. Who else? Martin Benavides. He does my tats. That's a good guy.
Hey.
I love tats, bro. I love tats. And Dr. Rob, cryotherapy. I'm hoping I'm not missing anybody. It's hard. It's hard.
it is tough, dude.
It's hard out
And
here.
you're going to be getting more moving forward.
Yeah. But I'm grateful, man. And if I miss them, I'll tag them in the videos and things like that.
Yeah. And we can tag them in this too.
Okay,
So.
perfect.
Like if we miss anything that we didn't get on camera or something, I'll like email you or something about like getting it on.
All right, yeah. But yeah, thank you, man. I'm blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, bro, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
man.
congrats
man.
again on the
Seriously.
new child.
Yeah,
dude. That's
congratulations,
awesome, dude.
man.
Thank you.
And I'm sure all of us are going to be watching November 5th.
Yeah.
So
Island fight 6 or 70?
70, yeah. 70.
I don't know. I feel like I fighted them all.
Yeah, dude, really.
Yeah,
you fight
so-
a lot.
But hell yeah, dude. Well, again, thank you. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you
you.
guys for listening. We're getting the fuck up out of here. We love you. Yee!